Hello and welcome to Quick Charge by Electrek, keeping you in the fast track with daily Tesla and electric vehicle news. I'm Mikey G, and it's Tuesday, December 7th. Elon Musk calls for the Senate not to pass the $2 trillion Build Back Better Act, and says that Tesla doesn't need the tax credit for electric vehicles. The act, which is from the Biden administration, is currently being discussed in the Senate, and it has a big subject in the EV community since it contains a reform for the federal electric vehicle incentives. All automakers stand to benefit from some form of the revised credit for consumer purchases, but it seems that Elon has other things in mind. He said, quote, when referring to the previous credit, Elon Musk said, quote, Tesla stopped getting that like 2 years ago. Everyone else except for GM still gets the federal tax credit. So all our sales from this year and last year had nothing to do with the tax credit because we were no longer eligible because we made so many electric cars. Tesla has made roughly 2/3 of all the electric cars in the United States. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. We don't need the $7,500 tax credit. I would say, can the whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation. While Musk also shared words of displeasure for government incentives for charging infrastructure, which, by the way, Tesla as a company is indeed pursuing that, Musk's main concern appears to be the federal deficit. He said, quote, federal expenditures are $7 trillion. Federal revenues are $3 trillion. If it was a company, it would be a $3 trillion loss. I don't know we should be adding to that loss. Something's got to give. You can't just spend $3 trillion more than you own every year and don't expect something bad to happen. Now, the bill in question is still being discussed in the Senate, and it's expected to be updated before it goes back to a vote. Musk's position is clear: no subsidies across the board. Tesla has released findings from the test program of a Model 3 at the automaker custom built as a patrol car in the United Kingdom. Max Tooze Hobson, account manager for the emergency services lead at Tesla, said the vehicle has now passed in the initial trials with the police for 9 months, and they've got some results to share. Here are a few highlights. Tesla's software updates and systems offer new ways to police. The ability to send directions to the car via systems such as What3 Words and Google Maps will allow control rooms to send direct directions to a job. Dashcam GPS tracking and app access offer unique potential to our cars as well. Chill mode and speed limiting allow the cars to be limited, allowing the possibility for split crews to drive the cars on shift, allowing for all officers to utilize the car. The auxiliary systems have minimal impact on range. ANPR for 3 hours would take less than a few miles of range off the car. LED lights could run for days off the battery pack. Charging on shift works. Last week I joined a traffic unit who got in the car with just 80 miles of range. We stopped at a V3 supercharger and gained 70% power in less than 20 minutes. This gave us another 5 to 6 hours of driving for the shift. Plus, this fill-up costs less than 20 pounds. After 15,000 miles, only maintenance has been brakes and tires. No annual service schedules mean minimal running costs, time off the road, and competitive total cost of ownership. Elon Musk gave an update on TeslaBot, the upcoming humanoid robot project. During a Wall Street Journal conference yesterday, Musk was asked about it, and he responded in part, quote, it has the potential to be a general substitute for human labor over time. The foundation of the economy is labor. Capital equipment is essentially distilled labor. I asked a friend of mine what should we optimize for, and he said gross profit per employee. Fully considered, you've got to include the supply chain in that. The fundamental constraint is labor. There are not enough people. I can't emphasize this enough. There are not enough people. I think one of the biggest risks to civilization is the low and rapidly declining birth rate. If people don't start to have more children, civilization is going to crumble. Mark my words. Hyundai announced the EPA range of the Ioniq 5 ahead of the U.S. launch, and it scored over 300 miles. The new vehicle has made waves in the early reviews, with an 800-volt architecture enabling fast charging and also bidirectional power. Hyundai has different trim levels, of course, rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive on both battery pack sizes. Those sizes, by the way, are 58 kilowatt-hours and 72.6 kilowatt-hours. The single-motor rear-wheel drive version scored 303 miles of range, and the dual-motor all-wheel drive scored 256 miles. The vehicle can also tow up to 2,000 pounds, has a top speed of 115 miles an hour. Hyundai has actually delayed the launch. It was going to be fall of 2021, and now it's winter of 2021. Ford Motor Company has confirmed that it has nearly 200,000 reservations for the upcoming F-150 Lightning pickup truck. At this point, it represents roughly a 3-year backlog. There is a fairly low barrier to entry if you'd like to sign up. The automaker started taking reservations with a $100 refundable deposit when the vehicle was announced. The demand easily outstripped the original timeline, with first deliveries in mid-2022. Interestingly, the automaker notes that nearly 75% of reservation holders are new to the Ford brand. About 11% of those say they own a Tesla. The reservation number pales in comparison with the Tesla Cybertruck, currently estimated at over 1 million deposit holders. In either case, both automakers are scrambling to meet production demand for their respective vehicles. 10,000 school buses in the USA will be converted to all-electric drive. SCA Electric and Midwest Transit Equipment have partnered to update the buses over the next 5 years. Health organizations, along with the American Lung Association, have been actively lobbying Congress to fund electric school buses, considering the negative impact that diesel fuel has on children's health. Today's community comment comes from Stephen Gooley, who, in response to the story about Tesla being under investigation over how it handled the fire risk in solar systems, he said, quote, "Yeah, Tesla held that back from investors, I'm sure. I'll bet they wish they had gotten a heads up and sold their Tesla shares in 2019. That way they could have avoided all that embarrassment of riches. How much do you suppose the SEC will owe Tesla? Fine Tesla?" Now, the news story does sound kind of dire, but as Stephen points out in jest, it likely won't have any impact on the company. One of the benefits of being a company on the cutting edge of technological futures is that the public is willing to focus there and, in part, forget the past. On top of that, Tesla is currently making the investors' money hand over fist, and combined with the loyal superfans, issues such as these will fall on deaf ears. Thanks for watching Quick Charge by Electrek. We also have an audio version on your favorite podcast player. I'm Mikey G, and I hope you have a great day.